And we're live. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
So, welcome to episode 2 of Behind the Scenes. This time, we're looking at Ellie and behind her photography is therapy project on YouTube, but also her work as photographer and creative person. I'm Jana. I'm part of the puzzling, where I'm looking at topics that are interesting for me and trying to understand and yeah, get inspiration from all the places. So Ellie, welcome. Thank you for finding time and doing this with
Thank,
me.
thank you for having me.
Um, we know each other from work back a few years ago now. But tell us who you are, where are you, and what do you do?
Yeah. So I'm Ellie. Originally, I'm from Italy, but I relocated to Luxembourg, where I've been living for the past 6 years or so. I'm currently working as a business analyst for Amazon, and I take all of the spare time that I have for and dedicate it to photography. So, like, photography is my big passion in life and fills my days.
Yeah, when you first time told me when we hang out of work that
Mm.
you like photography, I was so excited because I felt this like some creativity is there outside of, numbers and data.
Yes.
And then I saw
No.
your pictures and I was just blown away. I mean, um, all these wild now animals and from your latest trip, but also like your the eye for detail and lines,
Mm.
composition, colors, and everything. So why photography? How did you get to it?
So I got into photography by accident almost. So back in 2016, I was working for an Italian company and I went to South Africa for a business trip. And since I was there, I thought, why not just prolonging my stay and also spend some time on holiday? And I went on a safari. And I had a tiny, ridiculous point and shoot camera with me, but I enjoyed taking pictures of the animals so much, and I was so FOMOing because everyone else in the group was like using reflex cameras, DSLRs, and super long zoom lenses. And I was like, okay, I like what I'm doing with a point and shoot. Guess how much I'm gonna like what I can do with that serious camera. And so I started looking into classes and gear, equipment, all of the theory behind photography, and I haven't stopped since.
Wow, I mean, the first going to South Africa and already like, wow. But when you mention all this equipment, I find also like this overwhelming feeling of all these different objective, how do you call lenses,
Lenses.
all the different technical. No, I like the picture, taking picture, but not. How did you like? You said you were looking for the courses. How did the learning process look like?
So I got lucky because I managed to find like an in-person training, which was still a thing back then in the pre-COVID times. And I had a very great teacher. It was like night classes with a small group, and I felt like I learned so much in such a short time. And it was a sort of snowball effect. Like the more I was learning, the more I wanted to learn because like you start from the theory, like how does the camera work and why it produces the images that it does, and why you need all of like what are the differences between the lenses, and why aperture is important, why the ISO are important, and getting to understand that you have all of these details that they can be combined in so many different ways, and you end up with so specific results. It was fascinating for me because like you like there are endless possibilities as long as you know your equipment, you can do whatever you want, and exploring how the combinations work was so cool. I'm sorry, I must sound like a nerd right now, but that's what it is.
Well, when you say endless possibilities, in me it's like paralysis, which
Yes.
way to go there, and you like exploring.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And of course, there are limitations because there is a budget you need to respect, because photography is a very, very expensive hobby. But still, it's also interesting to understand how you can reach uh, certain results with what you have, and like finding workarounds.
Mhm.
Like you don't have a camera that performs super well in low light situations, but you can rely on a lens and a tripod to try and mitigate that. So also like finding out like how to take advantage of what you have.
Mhm. Just saying hello to Elise.
Hi.
Thank you for supporting us too from episode one.
Yes.
um, I would like to now maybe
Mhm.
dive more into the whole process, and when you describe this discovering and all the options and like
Mhm.
workarounds, it sounds inspiring. So I wonder, how does it feel in the moment where you're there with your equipment, as limited as it could be at the moment? How is your thought process and maybe feelings also, like when you think of taking a picture? What goes through your mind?
Um, so I hardly ever plan for shots. I am very like I I take pictures of what I like when I see them like on the spot. And it can be either on holidays or it can be when I walk down the street to go to the office. If I see something that catches my attention because of how the light is hitting a subject or because of a specific combination of subject and background, then I just take the picture and I think about how to process it later.
Mhm.
Does it make sense? Like I don't really plan for it, but like I see something that I like, I have a pre-editing process in my head saying, "Oh, this would look good in black and
Mhm.
white." So let's start taking pictures on that, and we figure out later
So
how to get
would
exactly
you
what I
use your
want.
phone, for example? You mentioned like walking to work or like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Fun as well. Anything that has a lens and a sensor works.
And is it for you that like you are in certain like hunting mode, let's say, that you feel like, oh, already like looking around, or is it just random sometimes that it just struck you and oh, this would be a good
Um, and so normally, like over time, I understood that hunting for pictures is not really working for me because I always end up with nothing because I have expectations.
picture.
And if I don't find that specific setting, then I'm going to be disappointed and I'm going to think, oh, it's not worth taking a picture of this. For example, we have a forest with daffodils here in
Mhm.
Luxembourg, which is very famous. And I went there like 2-3 years in a row trying to take pictures of this huge hill covered in daffodils. And every single time it's either too early or too late. And the daffodils are either still too little or they're all dead. And this, like, going there with the idea of only taking pictures of the daffodils is counterproductive because I don't see anything else. Like, I'm
Mhm.
focusing on that subject, and that subject is not available for whichever reason. And I miss maybe small animals that are
Mhm.
crumbling up the trees or some other plants, the landscape. Uh, So I'm trying not to
Got
be biased too much.
Mhm. And as you mentioned, expectations, it connects in my mind with also actually watching the video about that you made. And then the whole photography is therapy. How would
Mhm.
you call it? Project, channel, I'm not sure.
Yeah, project I think sounds good. It has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, sounds very active.
Yeah, sounds professional.
Um, and I find it very like intriguing concept,
Mhm.
especially how you talk about it, because on your channel you have like and how photography helps you with anxiety, with expectations. Um, how did that come up?
So I was diagnosed with a bipolar disorder, and I started doing research on things that might help coping with the diagnosis. And there was nothing. It was so difficult, like finding a community, finding firsthand experience and suggestions and tips of what to do. And like for those of you who are not familiar with it, bipolar disorder is a condition that brings you to have extreme mood swings, and you go from being overly happy and manic to being super depressed. And like it's I thought I could use some help in knowing what to do in both situations, and there was nothing. So I thought, if I'm doing research on this, if I'm looking for help, maybe there are other people in the same situation that might need some help. So I noticed that when I was taking pictures, my mood was more stable, and I could basically live out everything. I was focusing on taking pictures only. I was in the zone, and
Mm.
it felt good. So I decided to start talking about this experience of mine and hoping that it could be of inspiration for other people in the same situation. Because, I mean, even if you're not passionate about photography, you might still want to know what other people are doing and try and apply it to your preferences.
Yeah, it is truly like brave, I would say, also to be so open about it. We talked about it before also, about like bipolar and all this, and we have discussions about this. But to be open, I think, and discuss this topic, even if we don't agree or have different views or experiences with bipolar or this, I think it's still so useful and so interesting. And I would like maybe if you can tell us more about one of those, whichever you like for example, anxiety, or when you talked about how you feel around people when you take pictures.
Yes.
So how specifically, give us an example of how photography helped you with.
So I'm not a people person. I have I have my issues being around people. I like my spaces. I don't like crowds. I don't like noise. And but I still like to take pictures in crowded areas. And when I am well, first of all, I had to learn how to deal with these circumstances. So, okay, I want to be in Rome. I want to take pictures of the monuments, but there's going to be people around. And focusing on the process of picture taking is something that is helping me basically ignoring and filtering out everyone else around. Like they're not important anymore. They're still there, but they're not hurting me. I still have the ability to do what I like. And I also started little by little uh, getting comfortable with taking pictures of people themselves.
Mhm.
And this was a big, big step, because you are street photographers can be afraid of confrontation with people, and they don't want to be spotted when they are taking pictures of others. So trying and train also this style of photography was helpful because you, first of all, are mentally ready for a potential conversation with people if they notice that you're taking a picture of them, and they might want to know why you're doing that. And so you are basically prepared for interacting with others. And you already know, okay, I'm going to do this thing, which I love very, very much. The trade-off is that I might need to interact with someone, and this makes me anxious. But it's okay. I can do it because taking the picture is more important than feeling anxious somehow. So, like, you just get in the mindset for that.
So it gives you kind of like a proxy reason why you're doing what you're doing, because you have the. And then you mentioned also with bipolar, as you get like one gets high, let's say, and very speedy, full of energy, and everything is possible, and more than actually is possible. But then the lows where nothing is possible and you cannot even function. I think like a lot of people can relate to that with or without bipolar.
Yes.
And like when I look at your pictures, I see the beauty, organized, clean, and like what is behind all those beautiful pictures when you're not feeling it, when it's really like rainy, gray.
I think that, like, knowing me well, you can tell what are the pictures that I edited when I was in a good mood and the ones that I edited when I was in a bad mood. Because when I'm in a bad mood and I have to deal with pictures, everything is in black and white and the contrast is high and they're super moody, desaturated, and like cold tones. And when I'm in a bad mood, you can see that the colors are warmer and more saturated. The vibrancy is there. So
wait, that's when you're in a good mood or bad
yes,
mood?
in a good mood.
So all the colors pop out.
Yes. So I try to identify the colors that should be like really pop out in the picture, as you said. And this is something that it's like I should start editing the same picture twice to really have a comparison. But it's something
that would be cool.
that would be a cool experiment, yeah. But apart from the mental state of feeling insecure and not liking what I'm producing, I would still work on my pictures, but the way that I am approaching the process is very different.
It makes me really want to look at your pictures right now. So I haven't done it before, sharing the screen. But let's try it out, okay?
Let's try. Let's test.
I see the button. Share the screen. Yeah, now I just have to figure that, but okay. So let's see if this works. And I guess I will have to ask Ellie if she's still watching. Okay, I can see. So this is your website on the screen. Photographer, content creator, and here we go. We start with all these like deep, dark green. These colors are just amazing. But if we go here, would you be able to navigate? I mean, like, for example, when I look at this frog here, I would say that was a happy day.
Yes. So the only thing is that I do not see the screen being shared. I do remember the pictures that are there. So if you just mention a detail, I know what you're talking about. But I don't know if it's been shared for the audience.
So it's a double experiment, okay, for all of us. Yes. Okay, so clearly, like, the frog is very, very happy, very full of colors, at least. I have a Finland here that already has
Hmm.
kind of very black and white vibes on the
Yeah,
cover.
yeah.
And
And
look,
Finland is actually a good example because if you open the collection, you can
mm,
see also bright pictures in it. There are a lot
exactly.
of moody ones, like just greens and blues involved, and
Mhm.
there are some with a lot of yellow and bright colors.
So would that be like I love the one where the path is going through the middle of the valley with all the stones and
Hmm.
um but as you said, this whole like trip looks quite, maybe we can even say like balanced, like
Yeah,
diverse.
yeah. And the I mean, the trip per se was good. I think that what makes the most difference is the moment when I actually go back and edit the pictures.
Hmm.
So, because I never do it right away, I normally wait for a week or so at least to get some distance and perspective because I don't want to be like, I want to select the pictures because I always take thousands of them. I want to make sure that I am not selecting them out of emotional attachment, but out of like something like some objective reaction to him.
Hmm.
So
Is that possible even?
I am trying. It's hard as hell, but I'm trying to stick to some discipline when it comes to that.
Hmm. And so when you take pictures, now we're back to not sharing screens, so I hope you can
Okay.
see everything somehow, hopefully. Uh, but one part I think of you, as I see it, is one that is like behind the camera, taking pictures and then feeling through
Mhm.
editing and everything. The other part is then sitting in front of the camera and talking about
Yes.
all this. How does that feel for you? Like, how do you prepare for that?
Uh, yeah. So I like coming up with ideas and scripting for them. I like editing the video after it's recorded. So finding the right pictures that really capture what I'm trying to explain in the videos. I hate recording so much. I don't like it because I, I am a shy person by nature, so I still have like it's getting better with time, but sitting there talking by myself in front of a camera and then having to look at my face afterwards, it still feels a bit awkward. And I'm doing everything by myself. It's not like there is someone in the room that can like judge and comment. It's it's all in my head.
And yet still, like when I'm thinking about, for example, doing something similar but like less effort, I would say on my part, I am so freaked out by just the idea of camera being on and I will somehow, you know,
Mhm.
be talking and someone will look at it, judge me all the way to the. How do you deal with that part once it's edited
Mhm.
and you click post or share,
Um, well, there is a tiny part of me that is afraid of judgment, and I think that's natural. But this whole project is born to share with others. So that compensates for it. I am okay being out and talking about my experiences and maybe coming across as ridiculous if there is at least one person out there who can get help out of my experience. So that makes me accept the judgment a bit more.
so what did you get in return from doing all this, from doing now specifically the videos?
I do receive a lot of comments of people thanking me because they felt the same feelings and they either didn't know how to approach them or they didn't want to share them with others, and they got some courage out of my example. And like, especially knowing that people are relating, and there's so many people relating, it's cool because it makes you feel less lonely.
Mm.
It, I don't want to say it makes you feel normal, because that's not the word that I like to use for people, but it makes you feel like you are part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important for me.
Yeah, I remember when you first said that you are doing these videos, you said, don't watch it in the same room.
Yeah,
Because
no,
that was,
that's that I still have problems with. Like, you watch whatever you want, how many times as you want, but not with me in the room, because like looking at your reaction, and while I am talking, my voice is coming out of the laptop speaker. It's still a feeling that I have to manage, let's say.
well, yeah, I think I can very good relate to that very well. But when I watched it by myself, then
Yeah.
because there was no other option, um, I was so like excited that someone I know, I can go for coffee with,
Mhm.
is sharing so openly and so like intimately about all these
Mhm.
things that also I think about, I fight with, I relate to so much,
Mhm.
even though we don't agree about everything. No, but so it's so precious, that you do it.
Mhm.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And I when I got to know you a bit more, and I saw how brutally organized you are.
Yes. Yeah, there's that part as well.
But it's a great part. I love that part. It's almost like after stationery shops, there should be like organizers, and you would be top seller. Because the way how you are like, even visually, like, I mean, physically in space, right? Like my space is
Yes.
explosion of stuff, but your like structure and everything, and that kind of I would like to bridge
Mhm.
to also the logistics part behind all what you do, because you work full time, and it's a
Yes.
lot of work, a lot of also mental effort and time. So how do you balance this
Yeah.
these two?
Um, I think the key is in the process. So I do have my tools that have been fine-tuned over the years, and I'm using Notion for scripting and organizing the calendar and all of the details of the videos. And but having this structured place, this structured container for my ideas, makes me be aware of when I have to record, what I have to record. I By scripting more videos at once, I can record more videos at once. So it's tough, not gonna lie. Like, I have to juggle full-time job and going out, taking pictures, because I still want that part for my
Yeah.
mental well-being. And also the YouTube project, like, it's a lot, but I managed to find my like a habit in it. I managed to build up a habit, and it's working so far. Truth be told, I haven't been posting on YouTube for some weeks now, but that's because I've been traveling. And if you travel, that makes things much more complicated, because I mean, you just don't have equipment with you and time is limited. So, but I'm gonna make up for that.
Well, I guess it's also part, right, of this. I'm thinking, like having it organic and
Mm.
as you travel and you take time
Yeah.
and not posting every second of your life.
Yeah.
That makes it even more precious to me when you
Yeah.
are back.
Thank you. Thank you. Creating suspense.
Exactly.
No,
But
but I mean, life gets in the way, so I
your
mean,
life,
need to cope with it.
and speaking of coping, what are the like maybe tips or like things that work for you that you think could work for others, especially like if maybe they have also like full-time job? What would you say could people try?
um, Knowing your tools, because it makes everything much more efficient. Like, where to look for things, and I'm talking both in terms of photography gear and organization tools. So if you know what you're handling, you are wasting much less time trying to figure out how to do things.
Mm,
And like, it doesn't necessarily need to be an expensive camera with an expensive lens and all of the buttons and custom controls. Like, just know how to take pictures with your phone,
mhm,
know where the settings are. And if you need some help in getting organized, find one tool. It doesn't need to be the perfect one at the beginning, but find one and stick to it for some time so that you get used to it and you can start ingesting details about what you have to do and when you have to do it, and you get used to it. Like, I know people who are always dissatisfied with the tools that they're using. They keep swapping, and that is crazy. Like, how can you get anything done if you spend half of your time importing and exporting tasks from a project management system? Just pick one, stick to it for at least 2 months.
I think this
It
is
will get
something to
better.
be like highlighted a lot because from my personal experience, like I'm now in the middle of trying to figure out how to set up perfect system for
Yeah.
eShop, and it's just like I'm getting deeper and deeper and all that.
Yes.
But what you said is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Just
Yeah.
try it, just do it. And I think
Yeah.
for me, hearing that part of do it, and
Mm.
then start like bettering it up or looking for
Yes.
other solutions. Because for me, this fear or like this obsession with having perfect optimal
Mm.
solution already at the beginning before even I
Yeah.
drew my first thing to sell, it's unnecessarily blocking
Mhm.
everything.
No, and I mean, I was doing the same at the beginning. Like, it took some time to realize that I was in my own way. So, and like, just by sticking to one thing, you get to realize what you actually need, and you can start
Hmm.
looking for the better one.
Yeah, and as you say, like you can then start improving, right? Like
Yes.
usually I think what also like contributes to this state of
Mm.
mind is that I tend to compare or look at people who are already like successful, already like used, especially in my case, illustrators, artists, they have
Yeah.
branding and that's not how they started from day one, right?
Yes. That is very true. Like, comparing yourself to people who are already accomplished in your field, it's so detrimental to your self-esteem. Like, you just can't avoid developing some imposter syndrome that is
Hmm.
actually getting in your way. Like, everyone started from the very beginning at a certain point. It's just different timing.
So how did you feel the same? And how did
Yes.
you deal with it?
Yeah, no, I it's something that I'm dealing with also now. But I mean, I didn't learn photography at school, at university. Like, I don't have a formal education in that, and this is something that is really blocking me and makes me feel a bit demotivated every now and again. But it doesn't mean that I'm not good. It means that I took a different path from other people that I know. So it's okay. We just took we just took different paths, but the idea is to end up in the same destination. And as long as you're doing your best to get to that destination, then it's fine. And I mean, I sound so wise right now, but
Of course.
half of the time I am not so lucid thinking.
Well, I am using a trick. Well, not a trick really, but in my mind it's a trick, where I look what other people are doing, as I said. But in terms of practicalities, like if I see Ellie is using Notion, fine, no research, Notion. Or if I see Ellie is going to print her things here, no research, I'm just following. Because people like you are so thorough.
Yeah. No, but actually that is actually a very good thing that you said. Like, there is a book that is called Still Like an Artist. I can't remember the author, but like the main concept is, why reinventing the wheel from scratch every time? Like, if something has been already tested and is functioning and in a successful way for someone, just steal the idea and make it yours.
Yeah. So yeah, just so you know, I am stealing quite a lot.
Yeah, please,
Well,
you're
stealing
welcome.
is a bit strong word, but like code analysis of the website and such. No, in your case, I just ask you directly. But
Yeah.
it's. I think this is really nice about like also like connecting with people who are in similar fields, that you can ask for advice, and then you see like, oh, they're printing it at home, and I'm like spending this time to go through samples and pricing models and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, and it just like there can be solutions that you didn't think about, and they're worth being tested. So go for it.
Okay. Well, I also realized that I want to share, which I forgot at the beginning, but I want to share all the places people can find you. And one of them, as we said, was Photography is Therapy on YouTube.
Yes.
And then it's Ellie Annigoni. Is that how you
Yes.
pronounce your name?
That's exactly how you pronounce it. Yes.
Perfect. So all the videos, including a really cool one that I loved, where you made a list of all the gifts for photographers.
Yes.
Such a unique and creative list that I haven't seen before. So definitely we will put link in description below.
Thanks.
I'm getting into the
Thank
funky
you.
mode. Well, thank you for making the list. And then, oh wait, not this one yet. Then we have your website that we hopefully shared on screen already. But Eleonora Annigoni.photography, and people can also then find your store and check out the prints and pictures they can get.
Yes.
And the same goes for Instagram, and also you're on Vero, which is
I am. Yes.
similar to Instagram but less algorithmy, I think.
Yeah.
So all these cool places, which also we will share after. And the last one, before we go, what is the one thing you would like people watching this to take away with them home?
Don't be blocked by labels. I was struggling with my bipolar diagnosis at the beginning because I was only thinking of stereotypes and labels that society would put on it. And at the end of the day, it's just words. It doesn't make you any different than what you were the week before. And just embrace whatever you think you've been labeled as, and make it part of your path, and find something that can help you live with it.
Thank you. Thank you, friend. Thank you also for being very like inspiring example of how to cope, how to deal, and how to also do interesting things, even outside full-time job. That's very impressive.
Yes. Thank you.
um, yeah, Ellie, thank you so much for your time and for all the
Thank
stories
you.
and all the work you do. Thank you also all for watching. Ellie's.
Thank you.
And see you next time. Thank
See
you. Have a
you.
nice rest of the evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.